How's everybody doing today? My name is Kai Robinson with ProRank Business Solutions. And today's call, we are going to do an overview of the PennDOT Mentor-Protege Program resources on ProRank Academy. All right. We're going to have an open question and answer session where we take questions. We'll open it up for questions first. And what I'm going to do is put a rough outline up here on the screen. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. So this is supposed to be an open question and answer session. So the first thing I want to do before I even start to, go through any of these topics up here is just kind of open it up and say, does anybody have any general questions?
And let me just interject real quickly. I did drop a link to a Google Doc, which is our cheat sheet for the MPP. So if you can, you can access that document right there. It's a Google Doc, and that is our MPP cheat sheet, which will help you navigate the process.
Can I get the party started with the questions?
Absolutely. That's what we've been waiting for.
My name is Brian Ansari, and thank you very much for putting this on. And I'm super excited to see PennDOT personnel on the call as well as yourself. That's very encouraging for me as a DBE vendor and someone that is anxiously looking forward to the potential that rests within this initiative. My question is okay? I'm a DBE. I've signed up. I'm very interested in being able to take advantage of this. The platform itself has rooms in it. Is my primary source of interface with people that are interested in working with me or that I'm working with through those rooms. I just want to make sure that I'm making the most of this and I'm able to, shall we say, explore opportunities with people that might potentially be interested in partnering with us. So I initiate that outside of the program room. So let me just end it there because I have more, but I'll just end it.
That's a loaded question right there, but it's a great question. And that question kind of starts us off in the middle, and we might be leaving some folks in the dust that don't even know how to get into the MPP program. So we're going to start there after I answer this question. All right. But if you're already in the MPP program, you have access to ProRank Academy, and you can at least log in and get to your homepage. What you want to do is come to the site-wide search feature. Just type in MPP and hit return. And what that's going to do is filter the site for all of the resources applicable to the MPP program that are eligible or open for you to access, right? And I'm going to see a lot more than you because I have a whole bunch of access to a lot of rooms that you might not be in, but it's going to work the exact same way. All of your results, if you did what I just did, it'll be a lower number, but you'll see all of the results here. And it's going to show you blog posts. It's going to show you pages, forums, discussions, replies, members, groups, documents. Now, groups are rooms. Groups are very important. Let's stop on groups. Groups are those rooms, Brian, that you were asking about. So I could click on this group link, or if I went down and looked at this different information, these are the sections that I'm seeing correlating with those sections above, right? And when I get down here to groups, if I click on view 11 more, you all won't be able to see this many groups. You might have 4 groups that you're in for the MPP if you're already in the program, but you'll see a link to those groups that you are actually enrolled in here. If you're not enrolled in the room, then you're not going to see it, okay? If you are enrolled in the room, then you're going to see a link to the room here, all right? And it's going to give you a description of the room. Now, Brian, to elaborate on your question, what you're going to want to do to kind of get the ball rolling with your engagement, how you would use this site to really engage mentors and start to network, as you would go to your tier 3 room. And you have to be ready to work to be in the tier 3 room. All right. Just as a note. And when you get to the tier 3 room, the way that the MPP rooms are laid out, they're all laid out the same way. They're segmented by room role, by the member role. So at the very top, you'll have program admins. These are PennDOT personnel, maybe other companies that are involved in the program administratively, And you can see these individuals here and reach out to them. And you can actually request connections with them by clicking on that connect icon. All right. And then once Michael approves that, me and Michael will be connected, and then I'll be able to message Michael. Until we're connected, then I'm not going to be able to send him a message. I have that icon up there because I'm an admin, but you're going to have the connection. Next, we have potential mentors underneath of your program administrators, right? On the top, program administrators. Then we have a potential mentors section. These are all potential mentors, Brian. These are individuals that you might want to click on their profile. All right. So if we wanted to take a look at Jamie North, and you can see, the services that they provide, and you can look at their profiles and learn a little bit more about them. And you can also request to connect with them. All right. And after you have a connection with them, if you say it's somebody that you're interested in learning more about or meeting, but after you have a connection with them, then you can actually message them and you can engage them. All right. And we're going to show you things throughout this, this session, to where as though now that you have a connection with Jamie or Christopher or Eric, you can now maybe do things that they don't necessarily know how to do, find information that they might not be aware of. You can tell them that you are an underutilized firm, and you can show them now that if they go here to the MPP resources and to the room reports, how they might be able to view you as an underutilized firm. So something that you might want to do in a message that you're sending them is copy this link and then go back. And if you go to messages, and if I wanted to, and you're going to write something more formal than this at first, but trust me, after you're talking back and forth with somebody for a month or two, it might come down to that, because they'll know you, you'll know them, and it'll be a chat thread. And this is how you can share this type of information or engage. You could also send your company profile. Hey, check out my company profile, and copy the link up here to your company profile from your profile page. You could also send them actual projects. Hey, check out this MPP project notice. I'm just going to hit send here, and you'll see how it'll generate the link, and it'll send the message to whoever you're trying to communicate with. We sent a message that actually links you to this room report. And I mean, if Brian wanted to give instructions or whatever, he could, but now you could see everybody who's underutilized. How do I know that you're underutilized? Well, if you clicked on that room report link, now I can see everybody who's underutilized in this room report. So what I'm trying to say is, you can use this platform to identify potential mentors in the tier 3 room. Then you can make the connection with them. Then you can send them whatever relevant information about yourself, about this site, about your profile, or about your company that you believe will help you build a meaningful relationship with them. And post-COVID, it's just hard to do that other ways. It's hard to do that on a phone call. It's hard to do that in an email sometimes. So hopefully that answers your question. What I want to do now is just kind of back up and go home. And just for folks that aren't sure how to get that far or how we even got there, I just want to show you a few things. And then again, if anybody has questions, you can drop them in the chat, or you can chime in and ask. But say you're not a mentor or a protege in the program yet. All right. You can always just come down here to your home profile. And I'm starting out from my home profile, but you can actually go to ProRankAcademy.com. You can sign up for free just to get into ProRank Academy. But the best way to sign up for the Mentor-Protege Program, if you're not already in ProRank Academy, is to go to mppsurvey.com. So what I'd like to do is, if you're already in ProRank Academy and you're not signed up for the Mentor-Protege Program, I just want to show you these links really quick. These will take you to the surveys that will sign you up for the Mentor-Protege Program really quickly. All right. If you would like to be a protege, and you're already in ProRank Academy and you have a profile, if you just come down here and you click on this banner image, then this will take you to a questionnaire that you can complete and submit, and you will become a protege. All right. It will put you into all of the right rooms. The one thing that you want to remember to do is, when you're providing your email address, please use the email address that you're already using on ProRank Academy so that everything can sync up for you. And then this user would be set up as a protege and put into all of the right rooms in the cohorts. If you would like your user to be a mentor, all right, if you would like this profile to be a mentor, then the same way, come down to the potential MPP mentors banner. That banner image will take you right here, all right? It's going to take you to the Prime Mentor Survey. And all you do is answer these questions and hit submit. And again, this user is going to be put into all of the correct rooms for you once you do those steps. Now, what I was going to show you was, say somebody's not in ProRank Academy, right? If you're not in ProRank Academy already, you literally just go to mppsurvey.com and do the exact same thing. All right. If they're not in ProRank Academy, they would go to mppsurvey.com. Proteges can complete the questionnaire right from mppsurvey.com. This will actually create their ProRank Academy user for them. This will put them in all of the correct rooms and cohorts, and it will send them a welcome email with the instructions on how to get started. All right. And it will do the same thing for a mentor that's not in ProRank Academy yet. If they go to mppsurvey.com and just click on the please click here to complete the mentor questionnaire, then this will again create their profile on ProRank Academy, put them into all of the correct rooms, and then send them also their welcome email with the information and the steps to get started in the Mentor-Protege program. We call that the streamlined sign-up process. Before, we were asking mentors to create a profile on ProRank Academy. So go to prorankacademy.com and sign up, and then come here and click your edit profile button. All right. We still would like everybody to come here and edit their profiles. You can still actually sign up as a mentor by clicking the edit profile button and answering these questions here on your profile. Your business partner, are you interested in participating in PennDOT's Mentor-Protege Program? Yes, no. If yes, please choose, how you want to participate. You want to be a mentor or we want to be a protege, all right? If you want to be a mentor, then you're going to be added as a potential mentor, because keep in mind, potential prime mentors are just that. Until you're actually awarded a project that has the MPP provision, you're just a potential mentor. You don't have any commitment technically at that point, right? What we do ask you to do is to have an MOU in place with firm that you seek to use as your protege, all right? But you don't have to start mentoring until you are actually awarded the project. So just the act of you telling us that you're interested will actually add you into the proper mentor protege room. So again, these questions should be answered in general, but these will still also add mentors to the Mentor-Protege program. If you said that you wanted to be a protege here, it's going to add you to the main room as an interested protege. But proteges, you're still going to have to go to mppsurvey.com and complete the questionnaire that we showed you at mppsurvey.com to be a protege. And once you're done updating, if you just click on Save Changes, all of the changes will be updated on your profile, and you'll be able to view your updated profile. You can always go back and view your updated profile anytime. So we call mppsurvey.com for mentors now a streamlined sign-up process, because it is much faster to just go to mppsurvey.com and to complete that questionnaire if you don't already have a profile on ProRank Academy, because it's going to create your profile for you. Are there any questions in the chat? I see the chat.
Yes, there is a question from Derek Jones. Have you made any protege mentor connections to date?
Absolutely. And what you can do is you can go to the activity feed. And when you say protege mentor connections, the activity feed shows you everybody who's connecting every day, right? So absolutely. And when you say, have you made connections to date? No.
When I say connection, I mean business. Has any business been done between the mentor and the protege?
Yes, there are proteges on projects, and yes, Yes, the first projects have been awarded and they do have proteges on them. Yes, we do. How can you get connections? I think is what you're trying to ask me, right? What can I do to try to get connections as a contractor in this program is what it sounds like you're asking, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there another way. I'm going to go to group rooms this time. I'm going to go to MPP rooms, and I'm going to go to tier 3 contractor room. And we're going to look at that because what we need, honestly, is more contractors in this program. But you can reach out to these individuals right here, right? Send a connection request and contact Mike, right? And introduce yourself. Send him a message. I just clicked on his profile to view him, right? But you could see the services they could provide. You can see what they do. You can see what they're looking for. You can get an idea before you reach out to them. And then you can send him a message and introduce yourself once you have the connection. And if you need help connecting, then reach out to us. And another thing that you want to do is make sure that you come here and submit a resume or a capability statement if you haven't already done that. All right. And once you submit this resume or capability statement, this will automatically attach to your profile. But that's all the information that's relevant to you and your business on ProRank Academy that you updated when you added your profile. But if you add your capability statement and you add your resume, then those will also be linked here to your profile, right? So when you take the time to fill out your profile, add everything there, now you're putting yourself out there. You're saying, look, I'm a protege that's looking for a mentor in this program. Here's the link to my profile. If you go to the tier 3 room, you could send those messages to the folks that are in the tier 3 room. But if you go to the community, to the ProRank community, then you might be able to find potential contractors that aren't even in the Mentor-Protege program yet, right? And solicit them to join the program. So maybe we want to look for filter by non-diverse owned business employees. All right. And then just start to see, some of the folks that are on this list. And maybe you see a company that you would like, that you've been targeting or that you wanted to reach out to. That's when it's time to make a connection request, right? And then once you have that connection request, to send them a message and to introduce yourself and to paste your profile into that introduction message, right? And then that's when you can say, hey, go to mppsurvey.com and complete the mentor questionnaire, or we can help you with those kind of connections and using this system to connect with folks. We don't expect you to know how to do that on your own, but that's why we're having this call. But if you don't reach out to us, right, then it's hard for us to help you like that. But that's kind of what the new supportive services looks like around the Commonwealth post-COVID, is helping you learn how to make these connections virtually, helping you build your own connection pool. If you go home and you go to My Connections, then hopefully you'll have 25 contractors that you're trying to do business with that are in your connections that you can message whenever you'd like to message, right? By viewing your connection. This is all part of what it looks like post-COVID to try to build these relationships when you can't always get into the room anymore. Right? When the meetings aren't always happening live anymore, but once you have them connected, then you'll see that your messages that back and forth, they become more personalized. And hopefully when you do see them in person, the communication or the relationship is much warmer. When you do have that live meeting, then, it's not as much of an icebreaker because you have these ongoing communication threads with individuals, right? Like me and Brian have, or me and Matt have, or.
Hey, Kai, we have a few more questions in the chat that came through.
Keep them coming. Don't let me get caught up too long either.
Not a problem. Here's another question from Brian. How will we know what classes of contracts will be selected for the MPP program? And also, how can I encourage my specific set of services to be included in the MPP contract opportunities? I guess those are his services to be included in the provisions.
I think the second one might be a PennDOT question. I'm not sure how you get, because I think that they're basing the contracts on what they think would be applicable or feasible or what's doable for the program at this point. So we will show you how to ask questions directly to PennDOT. The first part of that question would be answered through the jobs and projects poster. And I touched on this earlier, but all MPP notices or projects are posted on ProRank Academy here in the jobs and projects poster before they're actually posted on ECMS. And if you type in MPP and we can filter by those notices that are on this site, right? And they're just notices. So you'd have to wait until they're live on ECMS and you respond to them through ECMS, but they should tell you it's a consultant notice, it's a construction notice that's giving you the state route and basic information. And then if you click on it, some will have more information than others. But, that's how you can kind of see what's coming down the pipe and get ahead of it. So another strategy might be for Derek or for Brian that are trying to build those relationships with their primes and solicit those primes. If you know that there is an area that you do work, right, or there's a prime, you could actually put these types of jobs in ECMS and the past bid results. And we have trainings on how to view past bid results on ECMS. And you could see the primes that have been winning these jobs. And then you could actually solicit them, right? You could take one of these notices because everything has its own link. You could copy the link, and then you could come back to your MPP room or your community. Let me show you even a shortcut from home, how to get to your MPP rooms from your home profile really quick once you're already in the rooms too, without doing a bunch of navigation. If you just come down to, I'm in my home profile, if you just come down to groups, just from your home profile, once you're in the groups, these are all of the groups that you're already enrolled in. Once you're enrolled in the group, you can filter here, Mentor-Protege Program, right? And I could come back to that tier 3 contractor room. Right. And then I could solicit a prime that's already in here, or I could even ask a prime from the main community that I find to join this program by sending them the link to mppsurvey.com and maybe even the link to that potential mentor-protege program project. So you don't have to limit yourself to the folks that are in the rooms, and primes don't have to limit themselves to the proteges that are in the room. They have to be in the room before you use them on the project. But what's to say that you don't send them a link to mppsurvey.com and you actually ask them to join the room? So that's really how we're going to build this program out. Hi, whatever, but then I could paste that link and then send, Mike the link to that particular job and say, hey, check this out. There's a few things that we're working out, and we're working on this site every day. So if there's anything that doesn't work for you, or if you encounter a broken link or a broken banner, please just send us a message. And within 24 to 48 hours, it will be resolved. Just let us know. Is there any other questions, Rudy? Keep them coming.
Yes, I do have one for Jennifer Sheasley and Associates. Through this program, is there any assistance offered to protege firms to navigate the business side, such as an overhead rate calculation and firm profiles, etc.? We recently needed help with our overhead rates and could not get it. PennDOT instead scheduled a full audit for which they had questions that we needed the help with.
Yeah, the overhead rate, we have actually a video training that's coming from one of the program developers or administrators, that they're actually developing some trainings on overhead rate and on consultant process, because they're consultants that deal with it. So we do expect to have high level overhead rate videos as part of this program, but they are still under development currently, right? And just honestly, that is really sticky because everybody's overhead rate questions are a little bit different, and there's not very many accountants that are versed in it. So it's really a case-by-case scenario. And I would say that, until we have those general trainings done, we would just have to try to help you out the best we can on the case-by-case scenario. But overhead rate is a tough one, especially if you're not using Safe Harbor. If some of you don't know, if you don't already have an approved overhead rate or haven't had one, then you can use a Safe Harbor rate, which is like 110%. And I think it's a different rate for like a field office, but that's a fixed rate that you can use for the first year until you have your overhead rate set up. but that is something that we are working on. Keep them coming though, Rudy.
Not a problem. I have another question for Brian. It sounds like it is it's a PennDOT question, but it says, can you share the methodology for selecting contracts for the MPP program?
Yeah, let me just take you right now to how to ask questions directly to PennDOT, because that's what that means for this actual session, because this is like a PRA navigational session. So how you would ask questions directly to PennDOT, I'm going to take you back there from our groups, right? So if I went to my groups, right, because you're going to have to be in the room anyway. If you're not in the room, then you can't ask the question. But if you are in the room, then you can ask the question. This is going to be in the main PennDOT room. We're going to go to MPP rooms again, and we're going to go to the PennDOT Mentor-Protege Program rooms. All right. So that question in disguise is, how do I ask higher level questions directly to PennDOT, right? And you're going to come here to the discussions. You're going to click on discussions, all right? And the very top one, you'll see MPP program open Q&A. Please ask your PennDOT specific MPP questions here, all right? You're going to click on that link. And then this is going to be very helpful too, because this is a Q&A. Somebody might have already asked your question, right? So go through and read the questions here that have already been asked and read the answers. And there's two ways to ask a question. You can ask a brand new question that's going to create a brand new thread by clicking this big reply button off here to the right. If you went through this and none of your questions are applicable to any of these questions, they don't have anything to do with any of this stuff, or you just want to start a new thread, then you can just click on this big reply button and you're going to type your question here. Make sure you check notify me of replies via email, because that means you won't have to log in to get the response. All right. As soon as PennDOT replies, then you'll get an email and you can attach photos. You can customize the text. You can add attachments or whatever you need to add, and then you would just click post. But if you wanted to ask a question to maybe in correlation or in thread that has to do with maybe an answer that Daryl gave here, or a question based off of Liz's question here, or a question based off of Afton's question here, then you would just click on the reply here, or you could reply here, and it's going to nest your question into this thread. It'll have to do with this subject matter. It'll be along this line. So when you see the nested responses, that's what that means. And these are where you want to ask those questions, Brian, because again, we don't have anything to do with the selection process at the districts. Our job is really getting the proteges prepared and then partnered with primes, and then trying to get the primes acclimated and able to find the proteges and help everybody understand how to navigate and find one another. And, you know, that's daunting enough on our side. So PennDOT will answer the PennDOT specific questions, and the answers kind of crystallized here. So any other next question, Ruby? Keep
Yes,
coming.
next question. Speaking of PennDOT, we have Harold Windish would like from PennDOT. He has a question that he'd like to ask through the mic. So Harold, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, Karen, can you hear me now?
Yes,
we can hear you, Harold.
Sorry, my setting was off. So
No problem.
Harold Windish with PennDOT District 6. And
Sure.
my question is, how can I get a list of regular dealers, services, subcontractors for the construction side? Because I have a profile I've got on the website. The only contractor I saw was the one from Ekman, but we have a lot of contractors we do business with in 6. And so I don't know how to present to them the proteges other than going into the group rooms and selecting.
Right. $1 million question, Harold. So to answer that, we have a brand new feature. It's called a room report. All right. And the way that you get to the room report, the MPP room report, is by hovering this resources tab, going down to MPP resources, and going to MPP room reports.
Resources.
All right, room reports, and everybody follow along. It's a very important question. And what you'll see is when you click this drop down, at first the page will be blank. When you click this drop down, you're going to see a report for every room that you have access to. All right. If you don't have access to any rooms, then this list will be blank. If you have access to 4 rooms, then this list will have 4 rooms. But everybody in the Mentor-Protege program and all of their statuses can be identified from this top level room, the PennDOT Mentor-Protege Program MPP room, to simplify it. And we'll drill down. I'll show you some of the other rooms, but you have to hit search. If you just click that, and you'll see it won't do anything. But once I hit search, it's going to generate my report. And what this is doing is it's giving me a list of all potential folks that are interested in this program, but it's telling us their first name, their last name, their company name, if they're associated with one, their tier, if they're associated with one, whether they're underutilized or not, if they are a protege or not, their room role, so a potential protege, program admin, and then it's giving you a link to their profile. And you can export this report. Now, I'm going to help you decode this information quickly so that you know what it means when you're looking at it. All right. The tier. When you see a tier that's NA, it means one of a few things. If you see a tier that's NA and it's a potential protege, that means that this person is really not in the program. They have just expressed interest. When I showed you on the edit profile form, if a protege says that we're interested in being in the Mentor-Protege program, then they'll get access to this top level room, but they're not in tier 3, tier 1, tier 2. You're not going to see them there when it's time to look at the proteges that are ready to work, but you will see them in this report as NA. They don't have any tiers or anything like that, right? It's saying that they're underutilized because they might meet that demographic, right? But they're not actually in the program. They don't have a tier, all right? So once you see potential program admins, they're never going to have a tier, and they're not going to have an underutilized status, all right? And when you see potential mentors, they're not going to have tiers, right? And they're not going to have underutilized statuses. But when you see a tier 2, that's a protege that's in that tier that's not ready to work yet. Tier 3, that's a protege that's in that tier, right? But this tier, this is a tier 3 protege, right? But they don't happen to be underutilized, right? So this is how you can see at a glance what you would be looking for. If, say, you wanted to see everybody that's ready to work, you really want to see who's tier 3, right? And you could actually, if you're in the tier 3 room, then you could just go through the tier 3 room report that's applicable to you, and you could see just that report, and you could export just that report, right? Because that's the subset of this report, actually, you know.
So tier 3 is potential proteges.
It's potential proteges and potential mentors. It's everybody in the tier, right? But it's also telling you for potential proteges who's underutilized. If you go to the tier 3 room, you know all of the proteges here are in tier 3. That's the point of this report. But what this report will do is quickly tell you who's underutilized and who's not in that tier 3, right? Which sometimes people say, well, how do I know who's underutilized and who's not, right? Well, this is a report that you can export, and you can export this report, and you could actually send this out to your community, your district. And this is a real-time report. This is going to be changing daily. So you would want to export this, come back and check this, you know, on a regular basis, but you could use this report and export this. And then if you just wanted to send out the proteges, you know, you can organize the report yourself, the CSV, and, you know, just send out a list of the proteges. And then you also would see who's underutilized and who's not. So
okay. What I'm seeing are a lot of engineering firms and consultant inspection. But if I want like subcontractors or a way to filter,
we want to go to tier 3 contractor room instead. We're in the consultant cohort. All right. So this is the tier 3 these are all contractors.
Okay. And then how do I filter on what services or what pre-qualification they're looking for?
So services or pre-qualification that would be available on their profile. All right, okay. You could view their profiles and see, you know, who does.
Generally, I guess that I would search in the group room.
Right. What I'm telling you is you could bypass the group room and just go straight from the report to their profile, and then see, you know, hopefully their services are listed on there. You know, sometimes they're not. Here's their services right here, right?
Yeah. So yeah, they do paving. That's what the prime contractor would want to know.
And then also their next codes as well. But keep in mind that the services for them might not be there that they want to learn how to do, because as a protege, maybe they want to expand into something that's not on this list yet. So that's just something to keep in mind too. But hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Let me show you something else though that folks don't know is here. And for contractors specifically, there is a contractor search tool under resources, search tool. And I'll actually keep this rolling for folks that want to hang out longer. But we are going to do this bi-weekly until the end of the year, and then weekly once the new year starts. So we'll be tackling these open Q&A sessions weekly every Thursday for the MPP specifically. But this is another way to find firms, DBEs based on actual work codes. All right. And you can actually view a list of DBEs. It's 19 firms, 12 firms. You can view a list of them here according to their work codes.
Okay, that's helpful. Yeah.
That's a tool. And then if say that this is only for contractors, say you're a consultant, right? And you're looking for firms, you're looking for more diverse businesses, DBEs that aren't even in ProRank Academy yet, right? But you know that they're ready to work, or you think that they would be perfect for the Mentor-Protege program. You can actually do a search for any address, generate a list of all of the diverse businesses. Now, this isn't just DBEs, right? And you can view their profiles here. And what these are actually combined, consolidated profiles that we have for these firms. So we're pulling their profile from ECMS, from PAUCP, and from ProRank Academy, and putting it all in one place if we have it there. So just if you click on the View Firm Profile link, then you'll see here where all of the information. So you don't just have to use the information that's on the firm profiles, what I'm trying to tell you. All of the firms that you see in those rooms are also on these search tools. And if you want to look them up on the search tool and get their information from PAUCP, from ECMS, and from ProRank Academy all in one spot, if they're in ProRank Academy, then you can use this tool to do it. All right. This tool also has filters on it other than just regional location. So you want to filter out firms that are business partner registered, firms with pre-qualification, firms with certain contractor work types or work codes or work descriptions or consultant statuses or consultant services. These are all constraining filters for over a couple thousand firms. All right. They're all right here at your fingertips, literally. All right. So I just wanted to make sure y'all saw that. And Rudy, let's keep the questions coming. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do have a message from Peter Gibbs, president of Foundation Surety, and he is available to assist firms with all their surety bonding needs. And you can reach him at www.foundationsurety.com.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter, for that note.
And let's try to focus on the questions because we're limited with time. We have a couple minutes.
Understood. I want to get that in there. Brian had another question in regard to developing a familiarity with ECMS. And with that, we have a weekly ECMS call on Tuesday at 11 a.m. And we typically send that out on a week. We do that on a weekly basis. And you can find that if you can show them the events tab in PRA where they can register for that.
Events, where Rudy's talking about right here. And all of your events are here, right? Your ECMS calls, and this is, what's coming up. So this is how you can come here and click on this stuff and, register for these events. You just click on register. All right.
And it looks like we've exhausted the questions. Because one had a question that was already.
Let me show you all something else too while we have a few more minutes. The main resource page for the Mentor-Protege program, it's under Resources, MPP Resources. Please get familiar with this page. This page has all of your instructional videos on it. It has the links quickly to the new Mentor Streamline sign up. And if you want to copy this link and email that link, so if you're a potential protege, you could actually email that link to mentors that aren't in the program yet. All right. And vice versa. Proteges, the protege sign up is here, and potential mentors that are already in the program could copy this link and email this to proteges that aren't in the program yet. right? And get them in the program. It takes 10 minutes to get in the program, all right? But this is a video that is all of the frequently asked questions. And for these videos, you can watch the whole thing, or you can look at them topic by topic, right? There's actual timestamps. So you can skip around and just watch the parts that are relevant to you, answer the questions that you have. And all of these videos are kind of laid out like that. Watch the full thing or come here and see the timestamps about what the video, important things that the video is covering. All right. So this page is a great resource. And at the bottom of this page, you have all of your important program documents that you are all looking for all the time. Your program guide, when it gets updated, the new version will be here. Your MPP MOU consultant template, and also your contractor MOU templates are here. And again, what mentors are going to do is download these templates. They're going to execute these MOUs with their proteges, right? And then they're going to email them back to mpp@prorankllc.com. And then you're going to get a confirmation email that says that we're in receipt and you're good to go. We have it on file. Okay. Also, you have your work plan here, your activity log for invoicing. We have direct links to the Ask PennDOT forum. All right. We have direct links to your tier 3 contractor room and consultant room. You're going to have to be in those rooms to have access to them, but your resources are pretty much here laid out for you. And we also have a brand new podcast, so that you can listen to these announcements. If under resources, if you go to podcast, you can listen to announcements now without logging into ProRank Academy. If you join the podcast, listen to it, then we'll be giving you updates via audio through wherever you stream your podcast from. So we're just trying to find more ways to bring this information out to you to kind of meet you where.
Question on it. There's another question on there in the chat.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Somebody's asking for Harold's contact information.
Oh, please show us upcoming MPP projects again.
No, Harold's contact information from PennDOT.
Contact him on ProRank Academy was what I would say. Harold, if you go to the community and you send him a connection request, or you go to his profile on ProRank Academy, if you go to the community and type in, Harold's first name in the community, then he's going to come up. But let me show you the MPP projects. It's jobs and projects, right? We're going to click on jobs and projects, and we are going to type in the keyword MPP, and we're going to search jobs and projects. And what that's going to do is pull up all of our MPP notices. Keep checking back. Hopefully this added value for you all. Hopefully this clarified things a little bit. But the main takeaway is that please feel free to call us or contact us on this platform, and we can set up a one-on-one review with you or with your organization anytime. All right.
All right. And I did put the cheat sheet in there, the Adobe, the Adobe version in the chat. And I also put a survey link in there. We're asking folks who attended this call to please provide your feedback on this session so that we can make sure that we tailor it to answer all your needs. And thank you, Harold. He did put his phone number in the chat as well. Thank you for that, Harold.
And something else you want to keep in mind is that if we continue to participate, if you can participate on these calls, we can start to use these as networking sessions. Because think about it, we're all here at once. We have proteges, we have primes, and we have PennDOT personnel. So when you see those green lights light up on ProRank Academy, then that's a great time to send your connection request to them right there while we're on these calls, and be communicating and connecting with one another real time while we're on these calls. And we can continue to use these calls to not only educate ourselves, but to network with one another real time as well. So hopefully this added value for everybody.
And please provide your feedback in those surveys. It will be very helpful to us.